I always considered myself lucky in love. My girlfriend and I had been together for almost 8 years. That was such a long time that I couldn't even imagine life without her. We rented an apartment, dreamed about renovating it, talked about a wedding and our future together. I was convinced this was it, my person, my stable life. But everything shattered in a single moment. That evening I decided to come home from work earlier than usual. I opened the door and saw a scene that burned itself into my memory forever. She was with another man, in our bed, in our home. Everything around me went silent, and the only question in my head was, why? He bolted so quickly, he didn't even dare look me in the eye. She said nothing. I packed her things into a few bags, set them by the door, and walked out into the night. The first month after that was the worst of my life. I couldn't sleep. I barely ate. I spent hours sitting in the dark staring at the floor. Friends kept calling, tried to cheer me up, but their words felt empty. The only thing that replayed in my head was that image, her with him. I even caught myself thinking, maybe I should forgive? Maybe it was just a mistake. But every time I remembered the cold indifference in her eyes, I knew there was no going back. One morning I forced myself to get up and said, either I lie here and slowly die, or I start getting back up. I began small. I woke at 7, even if I hadn't fallen asleep, until dawn. I washed my face, made coffee, and walked outside. At first, just a block and back. Then I started running. Running became my salvation. I poured all the pain and anger into it. Every step was a strike against the past. Every exhale a move toward a new version of me. I ran until my lungs burned, and my heart pounded so hard it felt like it would burst. But afterward, I felt one thing. I was still alive. A few weeks later, I signed up at the gym. At first, it was pathetic. My arms trembled lifting 5-kilogram dumbbells. But I didn't stop. Training became my ritual. And after 3 months, I saw changes in the mirror. My body grew stronger, and with it, my mind. One evening, I found an old sketchbook and pencils in the closet. As a kid, I loved to draw, but adulthood and routine stole that from me. I started sketching again. The drawings were dark, full of anger, but they helped. They became my therapy. Eventually, I began posting them online, and to my surprise, some people even bought them. It was a small but meaningful victory. Betrayal revealed who my real friends were. Some disappeared, not want to deal with my pain. But the true ones stayed. They showed up, dragged me outside, cracked jokes when I stayed silent. Thanks to them, I didn't fall apart completely. 6 months later, she reached out. She said she regretted everything, that it was a mistake, that she wanted to come back. But I was no longer the same. I had a new life, new habits, new friends, and most importantly, a new way of valuing myself. I replied with only one sentence. Thank you for the lesson. I've learned to love myself more than you. A year passed. I got a promotion at work because I poured into it the energy I once wasted on a hopeless relationship. I have friends with whom I can be my real self. I have a body I look in the mirror with pride. I found peace in my soul. Her betrayal broke me, but it forced me to rebuild myself from the ground up. Today I can say, I am not a victim. I am the author of my own story. I am no longer who I was. I am not someone who lets others define my worth. And although sometimes I still wake up at night from memories, I know the most important thing. Even after betrayal, even after ruins, you can rebuild yourself. And you can begin a new life, one where you're no longer a shadow of the past, but a person who has finally chosen themselves.